Welcome back to Podcast Recovery, everyone. We're your hosts, David O.
And Eric V.
And today we are not joined by anybody.
Because fuck them.
Because
It's a better...
Jesus. Somebody's going to take offense to that.
Someone will. But it is, I don't know. It's fun to say, right? Fuck them. Kind of have that emphasis on the
Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever you got to go
How's
with.
everybody feeling today, huh? How's everybody feeling? Toronto and Boston, Game 7. What do you think?
I don't care.
You don't even know what I'm talking about, do you?
Yeah, Celtics and Raptors.
Yeah, I'm talking about hockey.
Oh, are you?
I'm talking about Maple Leafs and Bruins, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Aren't the Raptors and the Celtics in the playoffs anyway?
Celtics are. But Raptors didn't make it this year.
Oh.
They are my team, my Eastern Conference team.
Okay, that's fair.
And the Denver Nuggets are my Western Conference team because Jokic is a boss.
So it's it's the Maple Leafs and the Bruins?
And Bruins are playing today, Game 7.
Oh.
I don't know if the Canucks and
Is
Nashville
it the
Game
conference
7.
championship?
No.
Oh, so it's just the second
It's the
round?
first round, I think.
I thought it was... No, it has to be the second round because the Capitals already lost to the Rangers.
Oh, is it the second round? Shit.
It's got to be.
I don't know.
Anyway, we digress.
Oh, Vegas.
We digress.
Yeah.
Normally
Yeah.
we have a...
We can talk a lot about sports here, guys.
Oh, yeah, we could. We're not going to. So today, we're not joined by a guest, so we're doing another one of our mini topic-sodes. And we're doing something that was sent to us by one of our readers, our fucking readers, our listeners.
They could be a reader. I mean...
It could be a reader. We do have a blog.
I've written
Check it out.
a shit ton of stuff for...
And if you feel like, writing your own blog for us, let us know, and we'll get you out there.
Happen, yeah.
I can't remember if we actually had him on or he was a listener. I'm pretty sure we had him on. We'll have to double check. But throughout the history of Podcast Recovery, from time to time, we've had listeners / guests send us books. So, and, he even sent like a little note that says, "Dear reader, the updated version of this book has a recommendation for those who are new in recovery, The Road to Wellness," which we'll be getting into later. The Road to Wellness is a workbook written by John Ferlenza Bailey. The workbook is a great resource for those who are new to recovery. So that's pretty neat. But today we are starting part 1. We're going to go through this guy's, because normally we're kind of NA-centric, but we're open to everything. So we're going to see how this goes. It's by Rick McNeil. And it is the 32, well, let me hold it up decently, get it out of his shadow. 32 Principles of Recovery. Boo, boo, boo. So we're going to have, this can be an 8-parter because, we think four principles per episode should be good.
Yeah.
Should be good enough. I haven't read this, so this is going to be new to me. Eric has no idea what this is. Nope. He saw it very first thing this morning, so do. And we're not going to read a whole, I might pull a blurb out every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm going to read the principle and then we're going to discuss. So Principle 1, you cannot change your life until you change your lifestyle. Okay. All right. So I'll read the first couple sentences. It is amazing how people will say they want to change their life, but make no effort to change their lifestyle. Sobriety requires drastic changes in your lifestyle. One of the most prevalent sayings in NA and AA meetings is the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, but expecting a different result. You must find a new way to break the cycle of this repetitive destruction. Lifestyle change requires a complete overhaul of your thinking process by renewing your mind, which literally means to change the way that you think and process information. Especially your current thought process is self-willed, dissolute, and undisciplined. All right, so that's the first sentence of you cannot change your life unless you change your lifestyle. I think there's a lot of credence to that principle.
Well, I've actually a funny one for NA, or for recovery people.
Okay.
Right? We're talking about changing your life and making sure that you're doing it. Remember, so I haven't actually done a share, so one day I'll do a share. I feel like I have to separate my shares though into different chapters.
Yeah.
But when I first tried recovery, I did a lot of noon meetings.
Okay.
I had a noon hangover.
Yeah, you've talked about this a lot.
And like people would come in all the time. I didn't have a job for a year. And that was on purpose. I overworked myself. I'd just destroyed myself.
Yeah.
But people would come in there all the time, just every single day, and just be like, man, I'm really looking for a job. Just praying to God.
Yep.
And I keep hitting the knees, keep hitting the ground, but I'm not getting a job.
Yep.
And I always thought, I was just like, what? Why don't you go
look
for one?
Yeah, is God supposed to fill out the application for you? Is that how?
No, it does happen
is that how it works?
in recovery, where if you want
if you speak up, if you speak up in a meeting, job, people be like, hey, I got a job for you.
But if you're looking for a career, I don't know if that's the place to look.
Yeah, right? Probably not the strongest place. Maybe go back to monster.com or something. Hit LinkedIn a few times, get some connections.
It's very funny. That's always been very funny to me, where it's like, oh man, I need to change my life, but I'm not going to do it. Keep going here.
But no, and we'll take it away from substances for a second. Changing your life by changing your lifestyle. Okay, you have you're overweight. You're unhealthy. You have this. You have that. You're not going to change your life by just like it says, doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. Like, oh, I want my life to change. And it's like, yeah, you're still eating half a dozen donuts every morning. It's not going to, you're not going to lose the weight.
Yummy donuts.
Are you going to the gym? Well, no, I'm not going to the gym. Are you eating right? No, I'm not eating right. Well, then things aren't going to change.
Gyms are for losers.
Well, whatever. Are you getting on your own Bowflex or your own elliptical at home?
I forgot about Bowflex. Yeah.
How can you forget about Bowflex?
Bowflex
is OG. But yeah, so changing your lifestyle. I think that really means changing the actions of your life.
Yeah.
Right.
And changing what you do.
Yeah. I think you can't change your life, which I think is the ultimate long goal outcome. And then the lifestyle is literally your footwork, right?
I mean, when you keep saying lifestyle, for some reason, I just keep thinking of lifestyles of the rich and famous. I know that's not what we're talking about.
I'm Robin Leach with your champagne wishes and caviar dreams.
Of the rich and famous.
That's a great callback. Only old people are going to understand that. They're going to be like, some 22-year-old's going to listen to this and be like, who the fuck is Robin Leach? You're like, why is he talking about champagne wishes? What is happening?
God, guys, the 80s were great.
Yeah,
great.
It wasn't.
Just like the Adventures of Gummy Bears, I was just talking about.
Yeah,
that was the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, they had some great shows in the 80s, but we're digressing.
Great shows.
Yeah, and it goes on to say you carefully consider your environment and separate yourself from the people, places, and things in your life that are a hindrance to your recovery. And that's very true.
That can be hard, though. That can be really
It's very hard, especially for people in the inner city. There are resources, but depending on the city.
Or in the rural.
In the world, exactly.
Or no, rural.
Oh, rural.
Yes.
Rural. I thought you said the world.
Rural.
In the world.
Rural is just as tough as city.
Yeah.
Just in a different way.
We're comfortably in the burbs, so we get kind of the best of both worlds.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah, we do what we want. But yeah, you're in the old nonsense saying, if you hang out in a barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. Same thing. If you're still hanging out with the same people and in the same places, you're going to get high. If you keep going to Dunkin' Donuts, you're going to get you're going to eat a donut. If you're a sex addict, if you still have a Tinder account, you're probably going to
get laid.
You're probably going to swipe right eventually. So
sex addicts are crazy too.
Sex addicts are crazy. I mean, gamblers. If you keep if you keep going to the casino, eventually you're gonna gamble. So that's 4 separate assets. Or avenues that we touched on. We touched on.
Hey, gambling can definitely be hard.
Oh yeah,
gambling can be hard.
Gambling, sex, food, and substances. Yeah, if you don't change people, places, and things, you're going to end up doing exactly what you were doing. And ultimately, yeah, you have to change those things, which is your lifestyle, where you're literally putting yourself in order to grow and change.
Yeah.
Are we done with Principle 1? Anything else?
I think so.
I think we're done with Principle 1.
You're talking about gambling, and I'm over here on FanDuel.
Oh, you're on FanDuel
right now.
You got any good ones?
I've been This is
We're not going to talk about. Actually, this is going to trigger somebody. We're not going to talk about this. We'll talk about this. We'll talk about this
after.
We were totally about to be like, hey, what's your up and downs?
Yeah.
No? I like.
What legs do you like
got
on the
plus
O's game
250?
today? Oh, you got Rushman over 1.5? Really?
How big of a parlay
Yeah.
you got going on right now?
Just
We're not
10
going to do that.
legs,
Don't gamble. Don't gamble. It's a slippery slope and it's bad for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to drink some coffee real quick and we're going to get to principle 2.
I have a very weird relationship right now with gambling. I only bet on the promotions.
Shocking. What? Okay.
Yeah, I don't bet outside of promotions because why would I do that? It's dumb. I want a 25-cent.
Ooh, okay. There's one last quote here at the end of Principle 1 that I will read.
Okay.
And it says, all change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and so beautiful in the end.
That sounds like sex.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Okay. It's true.
What was the first part of that again?
All change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and so beautiful in the end. Now I can't unhear it. Now I can't unhear it. You completely ruined it. It was a great quote to live by, and now anytime it's just gonna be like
sounds like trying to get laid, man.
Yep, kind of does. All right, Principle 2. You can judge a man by the company he keeps.
I don't really like that pronoun or whatever.
You can judge a person by the company they keep.
That's okay.
You want to take this one?
Yeah, I think that's rude. But
yep, I agree. I think we're on the same page here.
Like, there's times where I'm still friends with people like who are in active addiction, and like I'm friends with people in recovery, and I don't know. I don't think that's a perception for me necessarily, right? Like, and sometimes you're trying to help people, and like it takes a while to help people, dude.
Yes.
Like, not everyone's gonna get here on their first try. Not everyone's a David.
No. That's true. Thank God there's only one of me, because the world would be a worse place. All right, let me read a little bit of this. Let's see what he's going for here. Take a good look at who you spend time with and what kind of influence they may have on you. When addiction is active in your life, there is a tendency to always make time for those who are a bad influence, but you never seem to have time for those who are a positive influence to be around. The company you keep shows who you really are. If you spend a lot of time hanging out with people who do not practice sobriety, then most likely a sober lifestyle will be foreign and elusive to you. I'm gonna play both sides of the fence here.
Go ahead.
I see what they're trying to say.
It's people, places, and things.
Yeah,
Fun.
It's going back to the people, places, and things. If you hang out on the street, if you're still in a gang, like you're gonna do that. If you're still hanging out at the Dunkin' Donuts, you're gonna do that. If you're still on Tinder, you're still gonna do that. Like, yeah, if the company you keep are the casino flies, like, yeah, you're probably gonna keep gambling and keep fucking up your life.
You call them casino flies?
Well, they're not bar flies.
Casino. Okay,
well,
sure. Yeah.
I mean, I was just making
fine.
analogous to bar flies. I don't know what else you would call them.
The junkie flies.
Yeah, the junkie flies.
They fly real slow.
I don't know, the roulette rats.
The roulette rats.
Yeah. Roulette?
Yeah, roulette. For roulette,
yeah.
Sure, yeah.
I don't know. The poker pandas? I don't know.
I like the poker pandas. That's a good team name.
The poker pandas? Yeah. That's a softball team of middle-aged men.
The poker pandas.
It sounds really gross, too.
We're going to poke your panda.
God. This is horrible. This is horrible.
That's like what they do. They're like, poke your panda.
Oh
poke
my God.
your panda.
Oh my God, I wish I hadn't said that.
I wonder
So
if
I
panda
see
means
I see what they're saying, like on the good half of the fence, yeah, if you're not hanging around people in sobriety, if you're not hanging around positive influences, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get those positive motions going in your own life, going back to Principle 1 with the lifestyle. Like, if you're not learning from somebody who's done it before you, like a sponsor, then I think it's a lot more difficult for you to find your own way. But if somebody's like, hey, if somebody just gently shows you, like, hey, if you do A, B, and C, then you're on the right path. Mm-hmm. So I get that. But on the other hand, it's like, oh, it shows who you really are. And I'm like, that's a little damning. Just like you said, like, we still have friends in active addiction, stuff like that.
It's also like it's hard to cut people off, like just like
and it's hard to judge people by who they know.
Yeah,
it all depends. It really depends. Like if it's like, oh yeah, I just hang out on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Really? That's it?
Yeah, dude.
You're just hanging out with him? You're just hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein?
I'm not hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm just hanging out at his island.
Yeah, exactly.
I was invited.
So that exactly. But if it's like, I have so many years clean, but I have a friend who smokes weed or still drinks, or I have a coworker who, I go out to lunch with occasionally that has some beers.
Hey, you might have some people who want to, trip every once in a while.
Exactly. And
you might have some people who want to do a little bit of coke on the weekends.
Okay, and we're getting a little bit far. But you know what I'm saying.
But that goes back to my thing, like, that not everyone is the same, right?
Yes, and not everybody's recovery is the same.
And some people can do that.
Yeah.
And that should be totally fine by everyone.
Yeah.
What I hate more than anything is when people are like, well, I can't smoke cigarettes, so no one should smoke cigarettes.
Yes.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Like,
yep. Totally agree.
Just because, like, everything should revolve around your little fucking world.
Oh, yeah.
One
of my favorite Reddits. You're not the main character.
Oh.
You are not the main character.
One of the best Reddits. And, well, also Hold My Cosmo.
Hold My Cosmo is great.
Oh.
We should do a whole Reddit podcast. It'd be amazing.
Oh my god!
Just reading shit off Reddit.
Boomers being fools is another great one.
Oh yeah, but so yeah, like it's tough to difficult. It's very difficult for somebody to, and I think it's unfair to a degree to judge people by who's around them. But again, like you do have to take your own stock and own inventory of your circle.
You could probably make a pretty good, like, essay around the Pulp Fiction scene of where, like, Eric Stoltz is, like, slamming that into Uma Thurman's chest. Because each of those people is, like, a different representation of, like, addiction and, like, where they are.
Okay.
If you think about it. Because Stoltz is, like, he's Stoltz.
How is this analogous, though?
I don't know.
I'm just I was just thinking of that scene. Just get the shot.
Yeah.
But and drawing on from my own personal experience, there was a time in early-ish recovery where me, Eric, and another friend of ours, we were
awful people.
Awful. We were very
shouldn't
rude.
Hang out together.
We should not have hung out together at that time. We were all very cynical and toxic.
We would text each other during the meeting about other people and make fun of them.
And just rude, and it was very poor.
We've affected people's lives. I mean, Jess won't talk to me. Oh God,
don't tell
anymore.
me that.
Jess won't even talk to me.
Oh.
Which is fair. I was mean.
Yeah.
And I don't like her very much, so that's fine.
Okay. Well,
I don't mean that, Jess.
But
do. Maybe.
I mean, ultimately, like, life happened, and, like, we were still in our mid-20s, so we were still stupid young men.
20s are a pretty dumb age, yeah.
Yeah, like, we were still stupid, and we've grown up, and, like, I've made amends for some of those things.
I didn't make amends to her.
I
didn't make amends to that person.
Yeah, just pray about it. You're good.
How do I do that?
Get to your knees, man. Weren't you just saying it? Like, God, Jesus.
How do you do that?
Read your Bible. Read your Bible. But yeah, I think that's tough. Ultimately, yeah, anybody out there who's listening, principle 2, you take stock of the people you have around you, and if you have people shooting dope, gambling,
this is the opposite of principles before personalities.
Yeah. Kind of. Well,
yeah.
This isn't for the group. This isn't for the group. This is for you.
Principles before
personalities. Kind of. Yeah. Don't judge people, but take stock of where they're at. And
I'm about to like say it's okay to judge people.
Well, no. So I'm not gonna judge Brad necessarily because he hangs out with Donnie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna judge Donnie because he hangs out with me or Brad. And like anybody who looks at one person and's like, oh, well, they're with those other two people. It's like, you don't know the full story.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know the full story of that at all.
And that's also like middle school.
It's very middle school. Exactly.
Yeah. Like, which, I mean, that shit happens in recovery. Like,
yeah.
Okay. So actually thinking like we were just douchebags. We weren't really doing that to people because we hung out with people that we made fun of. Like, right?
Let's do a grading system too.
Well, what I'm saying though is like, if you think about it, I'm thinking of like the committee. Right?
Oh yeah.
So that's horseshit. That sort of stuff of alienating and isolating people within recovery.
Yeah.
But like, we were just busting balls more than like
we were
anything
busting
else.
a lot of balls.
Yeah.
We were being very we weren't doing it publicly. We were just doing it amongst ourselves. We were just being very rude,
Well, and we were also,
within ourselves.
But we were also very inclusive of people.
Yeah,
Except for you.
Me?
You were in the wolf pack.
That is, and I was just about to bring up the wolf pack. The wolf pack was never closed. The wolf pack
It was a little close. It was a little close.
It was not.
It was a little close.
I disagree entirely. But we're also gonna do, we're gonna do a Siskel and Ebert thing here. Actually, I prefer
Siskel and Ebert. Who are you? I'll be Ebert.
No, I actually prefer the two Muppets.
Okay,
the two old Muppets.
I can't remember their names right now.
Oh God.
I'll look them up. They're like very
I know them too, and I'm so mad. Anyway,
it's like I'm typing it. It's old Muppets and balcony.
Yeah.
Ah, Waldorf. What are you doing?
Waldorf,
and Statler.
And Statler. Yes. Waldorf and Statler. So
we made our first appearance in the Muppet Sex and Violence Show back in 1975.
Jesus. All right.
Created by Jim Henson.
So principle 1: you cannot change your life without changing your lifestyle. I'm gonna give that. You peaked so hard on that.
Sorry. I'm just thinking.
I know you did.
Statler and Waldorf now.
Okay. So principle 1: you cannot change your life without you changing your lifestyle. That's at least one thumbs up. What do you got? I think that's a solid principle.
I'm still thinking about Statler and Waldorf. What was that again?
You can't. So principle 1: can't change your life without changing your lifestyle.
Yeah,
I think that's solid.
Fair.
Yeah, thumbs up. Thumbs up on that one.
Fair.
Principle 2: can't judge a man. You can judge a man by you can judge a person by the company they keep.
No,
I'm gonna say thumbs
False.
down. Poor principle.
I don't like the judge word either.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that kind of, you could have cut this list down to 31.
Yeah.
And we're not being critical of you, Rick. Like, in case you see this or listen to this.
I also think this is a generational thing too. So
it's generational.
Yeah, this person's a little.
But yeah, for me, for us, because this is our personal recovery. This is a principle.
More inclusive.
This is a principle we would skip. We would skip. All right. Principle 3: avoiding accountability will lead to compromised, unwise decision and ultimately regret. Ooh.
Well, yes, I agree with that one.
Well, so we'll do our thumbs up at the end. Okay, so accountability helps us to keep you honest. Without accountability, you are a ship sailing in the middle of the ocean with no rudder. The rudder, although it is relatively small, guides the direction of the ship. Even if you are hoisting a huge sail, this is a lot of maritime references here. You are just traveling wherever the wind takes you. Sometimes you just go nowhere really fast. Okay, I'm not going to go any further with, the nautical theme here. But so avoiding accountability will lead to compromise, unwise decisions, and ultimately regret. Absolutely. Self-accountability is key. I mean, I think that's step 1, really. Like well,
step 1 is admitting to ourselves.
Yeah, we're admitting to ourselves that we were powerless over our addiction and that lives had become unmanageable. Also, that fan is super loud.
You're right. Yeah, I hear it too.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
It's okay. I'll fix it in post.
Whatever. Yes, it is a thing. So I mean, that's the very first time. Like, a surrender is really self-accountability, right? To a degree.
Yeah.
It's at least
you're surrendering to the thing.
It's at least making a mental and verbal level of integrity in your life. You've seen, okay, this is not working.
I mean, the addict surrenders to God like the prostitute surrenders to dick, right?
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Sorry, that came into my brain. I had to say it.
No, you didn't. You really didn't. That was horrible. That was horrible. I do not.
I was thinking about the kneeling aspect of everything. I was like, who else kneels?
No. So, yeah. Okay. So no accountability will lead to compromise. It's true. And I think accountability, I think it's synonymous with self-honesty. So, like, if you're not being honest with yourself, about like where you are in your life, where you are in your recovery, you'll compromise your principles. You'll make unwise decisions, and once you make those unwise decisions, you could lead to regret.
Yeah.
Because and we'll stick with our 4P, the big four: gambling, sex, food, and substances.
Yeah.
So if you're supposed to be on a diet and you're like, well, it's just, and I always go with donuts just because it's a good reference.
Donuts are good. They're a good one.
Yeah, we shouldn't be eating them. They're terrible. It's fried bread with sugar. It's terrible. But they are so delicious.
I've been wanting to make vegan cake donuts for a while, so I might do that soon.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm a fat fucker, so I should not do that.
Okay.
As
all
Dave,
right.
it's like you're not fat.
You're not fat.
You're not fat.
But if you're not being honest with yourself, if you're telling yourself, oh, well, it's just one. Boom.
Lies!
Boom. There's your compromise. And once you say, oh, it's just one, then it comes the unwise decision of actually eating the one donut. And then immediately after you're done that donut, a half hour later, 1 hour later, whatever, you're going to be like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that.
That's my soda thing. So I can't drink. I've talked about this before, too. I can't drink high fructose corn syrup.
Nope.
Or else I will not stop for some reason. It's really fucking weird.
That's
just super fucking addictive.
That's one 12-step fellowship cliche that I think is 100% valid. One is too many, and 1,000 is never enough. Because it's so true. Because I never had one.
Well,
it was never one.
We're talking about sugar and stuff. Like that's one of the things I don't like about AA is they push sugar and shit on you. They're little sugar peddlers. They're like, hey man, you want your donuts?
Come get your donuts.
Shit?
Come get your donuts
and
your coffee.
No, dude. Like fucking put a banana out there.
I don't
want
that. I don't want that.
Because I don't get that part, dude. Like you go to recovery and then it's like, here, just take all this fattening food and like sugary drinks and shit.
I get it.
Smoke a shit ton of fugs.
You're not wrong.
If you don't know what a fug is, that is a cigarette.
Yes. So yeah, and it's the same with all the others. You compromise. Oh, it's just one bet. Then you bet it and you lose.
Yeah,
you suck. It's just one extramarital affair. It's not that big a deal. It's just once. You make the decision. You go through with it. Boop.
Eric
and
makes
then you
a bet
regret
outside
it later.
of promotions. That's my little thing.
Exactly.
I made a bet outside of the promotions that they give away.
Yep. And it's just one drink. Oh, it's just that one. It's one pill. It's blah 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 blah. You make it.
Just
you threw away your clean time or whatever. And so if you're not, and actually we'll take it beyond self. If you're avoiding accountability with other people, then
that's worse.
That's worse. Yeah, because then that comes in with sex. Like if you're not holding yourself accountable to your significant other, that's a huge problem. If you're in any of the other ones, gamblers, substances, eating, if you have a sponsor and you're not letting yourself be held honestly accountable for how you're thinking, how you're feeling, how you're acting, bad things are going to happen.
It's hard.
So principle 3, 2 thumbs up.
That's good.
2 thumbs up. I think that's a solid principle. 2 thumbs up on principle 3.
Last one, principle 4.
Ooh. Well, let me read this real quick. When you have truly surrendered, you will make yourself accountable to someone for the purposes of being grounded, making sound decisions, and most importantly, maturing. I like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So last but not least of the day, principle 4, don't complain about being lonely when your isolation is self-imposed. Ooh.
Is it self-imposed?
It can be.
But what if it isn't? What if like
what? So it's a conjunction.
Yeah.
It's a conjunction. Don't complain about being lonely when your isolation is self-imposed. So when it is self-imposed, don't complain about being lonely. I am actually a huge proponent of this, and I'm going to give you an analogous situation. So I had a friend who was complaining about their job. He was at one of the previous companies I worked with. He was like, "Oh, I fucking hate this company." And I'm like, "Okay, well, go get a new job, because you're in a field where there's a plethora of them, and you've been doing it long enough that you can go to anywhere." And so he did that. Well, he didn't go get a new job. He went and got another offer, and then
came back and got more money.
Exactly. The same company was like, "Well, we'll match that. We'll match that. Actually, we'll give you $1 more." And whatever. So he was like, well, they're offering me more money. I was like, yeah, but is that going to solve all the things that you're complaining about? And he was like, well, no, but at least I'll be making more money. I'm like, that's a valid point, but
I'd rather take the dollar less.
Yeah,
personally.
So so what I said to him, I was like, listen, now that you've taken that money, you have to understand you can no longer complain about the company because you are now volunteering for it. Mm-hmm. You had your way out to a potentially new situation where there would maybe the grass was greener, maybe it wasn't. Here, it's hearsay, whatever. But at least you weren't going to be in, going back to principle one, you're not going to be in the same cycle of doing the same thing and expecting different results.
I have something to say, I guess, about the grass is greener. I do think the grass is usually the same or greener.
Yes.
On the other side, and people are just afraid.
I think
change.
It's greener in different patches. Like I've been at several companies within my field, and I realize they all suck for different reasons.
Yes.
Like they don't suck overall, but like they all have different reasons of suckage. Like one company that'll do this well, the next company you go to does it very poorly, but they do something else really well that the previous company was poor at.
Yeah.
So it's all just finding what you find acceptable and what you don't. But yeah, as it comes to recovery, one of my favorite quotes is don't complain about the results you don't get from the work that you don't do. Yeah. And that's what this is saying. Like if I can't, like, going back to the previous principles. I'm not losing the weight. I'm still losing money. My significant other doesn't trust me. I can't get a job because I can't pass a drug test. Well, are you working out and watching your food? No? Then don't fucking complain. Okay, are you still going to the casino 5 nights a week? Then don't complain that you can't have any money. Oh, your significant other doesn't trust you and wants to have access to your phone? Well, if you want to have a level of trust, stop fucking other people.
Yeah.
And if you want to actually get a job and pass a drug test and live a new life, then, stop doing drugs. Stop hanging out with people that are doing drugs.
All right.
I think principle 4
is your good one.
That's really good. So, okay, we'll read a little bit. Isolation breeds loneliness, and this is different for everybody. Like some people, Eric thrives in isolation.
Not loneliness.
Not loneliness. Eric thrives in isolation. If this was 200 years ago and they were like, hey, would you like to operate this lighthouse for us? Eric would be like, sign me up.
Yep.
Sign me up.
I'm here.
Yep. I will be here all the time. Bring me books and food.
And women.
I'll be fine. There you go.
Books, food, and women. That's all.
So, but for this, isolation breeds loneliness, which opens the door for depression. Isolating yourself creates the perfect storm for destroying your sobriety. Feelings of anger, insecurity, self-loathing, anxiety, and fear begin to surface, causing you to seek some form of escape or relief. You need a good support system to overcome self-destructive feelings. I think that's paramount. And one of my favorite principles from, not principles, but quotes from Russell Brand is, addiction is, the nature of addiction is isolation. And the remedy to that is connection. So the root of recovery is connection, right? Because most of these things, like when you're eating when you shouldn't, when you're gambling when you shouldn't, when you're having sex when you shouldn't, when you're using substance when you shouldn't, very rarely are those things done in the open air.
Yeah, they're done.
They're not done. They're not done in front of your grandma. They're not done in front of your significant other. Like it's you have isolated that behavior. And the only way to change that is to, shed light on all your things. Mm-hmm. So so far, out of four out of our 32 principles, I'm going to give me personally, we're going to give principle 4 3 thumbs up.
3 thumbs. Wow.
3 thumbs. I'm going double thumbs up all because right. I love that because it puts a level of goes back to the accountability, and it's like, listen, do the work. If you don't do the work, shut the fuck up. If you don't do the work, shut the fuck up. Period. And I agree with that. Like, if you're going to continue to do the things that you do and you can continue to firebomb your life, don't complain about your life. You're the one who did it.
Yeah.
I mean, I was guilty of it for a long time, but now that I'm on the other side, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. And like, if I kick the fucking wall, I'm not going to complain when I break my toe.
That's true.
That's true. That's just true. All right. Well, I think we are about out of time. Any final words? I think this is a good start.
No,
I like these principles so far.
We'll get started on the next one.
Yeah, we will continue with part 2. So stay tuned. All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. Go to all our social media outlets, like, share, subscribe. Join our Patreon. We are self-supporting and need help keeping these mics on. Go to our merch store, buy some cool shit. Eric has some of our socks and
I've got tons of stuff.
We got tons of stuff. We have socks, t-shirts,
hats. We got shit, man.
We got candles. We got placemats. We got cards, buttons, stickers, whatever. Buy some of it. It's cool.
Yeah.
And help support us. But most importantly, everybody out there,
stay safe and stay clean.